All right, Dragon Ball fans, welcome to BuzzBreakdown, Dragon Ball Edition.
Yeah.
Where we take your favorite Saiyan, Goku,
Goku.
and we go deep on his story.
Absolutely.
You guys send over some awesome sources.
Yeah.
Wikipedia fan wikis.
Oh, nice.
Even some Team 4-star abridged clips.
Love it.
To keep things fun.
Yeah.
So today, we're tracing his journey from those mysterious origins to his current status as a universe-saving powerhouse.
It's amazing how much information is out there about Goku. Even for,
Right.
like, diehard fans, there are always those little hidden gems to uncover.
Totally. Like, I knew Goku was sent to Earth as a baby Saiyan, but to conquer it? Kind of ironic, given how things turned out, huh?
It's a complete 180.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if that head injury hadn't happened.
Oh, yeah.
Would he have followed his original programming, so to speak?
That's a chilling thought, planet-destroying Goku.
Oh.
Thankfully, Grandpa Gohan stepped in and raised him with a very different set of values.
Right. And that clash between his Saiyan nature, those warrior instincts, and his earthling upbringing really shaped him.
It's like he loves a good fight, but there's always this pure heart underneath. It's not just about winning. It's about the challenge, about pushing his limits.
Exactly. It's a unique blend that you don't see in many other Saiyans.
Yeah.
But getting back to those Saiyan origins,
Okay.
did you know babies were actually judged on how intensely they cried?
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Like the louder the baby, the better.
Yep.
Well.
And, get this, Goku was considered pretty low level when he was born.
Really?
A power level of 2.
Oh, wow.
Imagine that the guy who shakes entire universes started out as a bit of a whimperer.
Wow. Talk about a glow-up. Though it does make those early Dragon Ball fights even more impressive.
Right.
This supposedly weak Saiyan was already tossing around giant boulders like pebbles.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how much of that strength was natural Saiyan ability versus Grandpa Gohan's training.
It's probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
But let's not forget that iconic Saiyan tail that played a huge role in his early power-ups, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. The Great Ape transformation.
Yes.
Exposure to the full moon's blast waves, and boom, he turns into this giant raging ape, 10 times stronger, but totally uncontrollable at first.
That's the fascinating part. It's this raw, primal power that Saiyans have to learn to control.
Right.
It's a double-edged sword, really.
And losing the tail actually helped him evolve. Right? Like shedding a weakness to reach a new level.
Exactly. It allowed him to move beyond the limitations of the great ape form and eventually tap into something far more legendary.
You're talking about Super Saiyan, right?
Yeah.
The gold standard, literally, that golden hair, the energy boost.
Iconic.
Every Dragon Ball fan's dream.
It is iconic. But the trigger for Goku's first transformation is pretty intense.
Oh, yeah.
Witnessing his friend Krillin's death, that's some heavy stuff.
Yeah, talk about high stakes, but what's interesting is how differently that moment is portrayed.
Yeah.
In the manga versus the anime.
Absolutely. The manga is straight to the point, powerful but brief.
Right.
But the anime stretches it out.
Yeah.
Building the tension. You've got the darkening sky, the lightning, the ground shaking, pure dramatic gold.
Yeah.
It emphasizes the enormity of what's happening.
It's like, this is a turning point, not just for Goku, but for the entire series.
Yeah.
But as we know, he didn't stop there.
Nope.
He kept pushing those Saiyan limits, didn't he?
Oh, not even close.
Yeah.
He went Super Saiyan 2, then Super Saiyan 3, each form more powerful than the last.
Right.
And we could spend a whole deep dive just breaking down those transformations alone.
Maybe we should. But for now, I'm curious about what comes after Super Saiyan 3.
Okay.
It's like, where do you even go from there?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. That's where we enter the realm of godly power with Super Saiyan God.
Now we're talking. And it's not just a simple power-up, right? There's a whole ritual involved.
It requires the energy of 5 other righteous Saiyans.
Well,
it's like this ancient, almost mystical process
Right.
that unlocks a whole new level of power.
And mastering Super Saiyan God is what actually unlocks Super Saiyan Blue.
Right.
Or as it's technically called,
Yes.
Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
It's amazing how deep the lore goes with these transformations.
It really speaks to the complexity of Saiyan biology and their potential.
Yeah.
But even beyond Super Saiyan Blue, Goku's journey isn't over.
Right.
He's still searching for new heights, new challenges.
Which leads us to Ultra Instinct.
Oh.
I mean, where do we even begin with this one?
Well, it's considered Goku's most recent and arguably most powerful form.
Right.
It's the culmination of all his training, all his battles, all his pushing those Saiyan limits.
Yeah.
And to achieve it, he had to push past everything he thought he knew about power.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
Okay.
What exactly is Ultra Instinct?
It's this incredible state where Goku separates his consciousness from instinct, allowing his body to react completely automatically.
Wow.
Imagine fighting without thinking, moving purely on instinct.
Wow, it's like his body becomes a weapon wielded by pure instinct.
Yeah.
But how does someone even achieve that kind of separation?
That's the million zini question.
Right.
It's a technique that even gods struggle to master.
Wow.
And we see Goku going through some intense trials to even scratch the surface.
Yeah.
It's not just about physical training, it's about mental discipline, spiritual awareness. It's almost like a Zen-like state of being.
It's so different from those earlier transformations which were often fueled by rage or desperation.
Right.
This feels more controlled, serene.
Right. It's not about tapping into raw emotion.
Yeah.
It's about transcending those emotions, achieving pure, unadulterated focus.
It's like Goku unlocked a whole new level of being not just a power-up.
Right.
And I gotta say, the visuals are amazing.
Yeah.
The silver hair, that calm aura, it really sets it apart from his other forms.
It's a visual representation of that internal shift, that mastery over himself.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder what comes next for Goku.
Right.
Can he even surpass Ultra Instinct?
Oh, that's a question for another deep dive. But for now, I think we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, we have.
We've gone from crying baby Saiyan to universe-shaking warrior.
It's true.
And it's clear that Goku's journey is far from over.
It is far from over.
But we're going to have to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to delve deeper into the world of Dragon Ball.
Sounds good. You know, when you think about it, it's incredible how much Goku's Earthling upbringing shaped him, even with all that Saiyan heritage coursing through his veins.
Totally. Like, could you imagine him growing up on planet Vegeta with all those other battle-hungry Saiyans?
It's hard to picture. One of the sources you provided, Dragon Ball Minus, actually gives us a glimpse into what baby Goku was like before he was sent to Earth. Apparently, he wasn't quite the screaming terror we see in the original series.
Wait, really? He was a well-behaved Saiyan baby.
Yeah.
That's tough to believe.
Well, maybe not well-behaved exactly.
Okay.
He was still a handful, but more mischievous than planet-conquering.
So maybe that head injury did amplify those Saiyan instincts.
Yeah.
It makes you think about the nature versus nurture debate.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating thought experiment. But regardless, we know that Grandpa Gohan's influence was crucial.
Right.
Those early years on Mount Paozu. Learning about nature, hard work, and compassion.
Right.
That foundation really set him apart.
It's a stark contrast to the Saiyan warrior culture we see later in the series.
Yeah.
Remember the Saiyan army?
Oh, yeah.
All that talk about power levels, conquering planets, and showing no mercy.
It's a very different set of values. And yet, even with his Earthling upbringing, Goku still exhibits some classic Saiyan traits.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen anyone eat as much as him?
Seriously. That guy can put away a 50-course meal and still have room for dessert.
It's not just gluttony, though. It's actually a biological necessity for Saiyans. They need that massive amount of food to fuel their strength and ki.
Makes sense. It's like they're constantly burning calories even when they're just standing still. But speaking of Saiyan quirks, how about that whole thing about their hair never changing after birth?
That's a fun one. It's like their ultimate fashion statement.
Right.
Born with it, stuck with it.
But wait, does that mean Nappa was born bald?
You know, there's actually some debate about that. Some sources show him with hair as a child, while others don't. It's one of those Dragon Ball mysteries, I guess.
Maybe he just shaved it all off for aerodynamic purposes.
Ah.
Less wind resistance during those epic battles.
Could be. But what's not a mystery is the incredible strength and speed that comes with being a Saiyan. Even as a kid, Goku was tossing around giant boulders like they were pebbles.
Yeah. It's crazy how their training just amplifies that natural ability exponentially. But here's a thought. Even with all that raw power, Saiyans still have their vulnerabilities.
Oh, absolutely. And early on, it's that tail.
Right.
One good yank, and they're down for the count.
Right. But as they get stronger, they seem to overcome that weakness.
Yeah.
I mean, Vegeta and Nappa weren't bothered by tail grabs when they showed up on Earth.
It's like they trade one vulnerability for another.
Okay.
They shed the tail, but then that Saiyan drive pushes them to keep chasing higher levels of power, becoming almost obsessed with reaching the next Super Saiyan form.
It's a cycle of ambition. Which makes me wonder, what does it really mean to be a Saiyan?
Yeah.
Is it just about power and fighting?
That's where things get really interesting because Goku's upbringing throws a wrench into that classic Saiyan archetype.
Yeah.
He values friendship, compassion, and even forgiveness, which isn't exactly typical Saiyan behavior.
He's always giving his enemies a second chance.
Yeah.
Even when they probably don't deserve it.
And that's where the debate starts.
Hmm.
Is Goku too forgiving? Is his mercy putting the universe at risk?
Hmm.
After all, some of his enemies like Frieza never seem to learn their lesson.
That's a great point. I mean, on one hand, his compassion has saved lives and even turned enemies into allies.
Like Vegeta, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Who would have thought that the proud Saiyan prince would end up settling down on Earth,
Right.
marrying Bulma and becoming a somewhat devoted father?
It's one of the most compelling character arcs in the series.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have happened if Goku hadn't shown him mercy.
Exactly. But then you have Frieza, who just keeps coming back for revenge no matter how many times Goku defeats him. It makes you wonder, can some people truly change? Or are they just wired a certain way?
It's almost like Goku's mercy fuels Frieza's rage.
Right.
It drives him crazy that he can't break Goku's spirit.
It's such a fascinating dynamic, and it really makes you think about the nature of good and evil and whether redemption is truly possible for everyone.
Even Vegeta struggled with that for a long time.
He did.
It's like he was constantly battling between his Saiyan instincts and the compassion he was learning from Goku and the others.
And that struggle is part of what makes his character so interesting. But ultimately, Goku's unwavering belief in the good in others, even those like Frieza, is a testament to his character. It's what sets him apart even among other Saiyans.
It's a powerful message. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about those Saiyan-human hybrids,
Yeah.
like Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. I mean, they're incredibly strong, even surpassing some pureblood Saiyans.
And that's where things get even more interesting.
Right.
The fact that Saiyan-human hybrids have the potential to be even stronger than their pureblood counterparts is fascinating. It's like they inherit the best of both worlds. Saiyan strength and fighting spirit combined with human adaptability and emotional range.
I bet that makes Vegeta secretly proud knowing his kids have the potential to surpass him.
He'd never admit it. But it does raise a lot of questions about the future of the Saiyan race. What does this mean for their evolution?
Right.
Will we see even more powerful hybrids emerge?
And what about those unique Saiyan abilities, like their heightened senses? Earlier you mentioned their sense of smell being particularly strong.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like a dog's.
Yeah.
How does that factor into their fighting style or daily life?
It's an interesting detail that doesn't get explored much in the series, but it has so much potential.
Right.
Think about it. Goku's love of food, his ability to track enemies, even his strategic awareness on the battlefield could all be enhanced by his superior sense of smell.
That's a great point. It adds a whole new layer to those fight scenes.
Yeah.
And it makes you realize just how much depth there is to Saiyan biology and culture, even beyond those flashy transformations.
Exactly. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion. There's always something new to discover.
Well, I'm definitely ready to peel back another layer.
Yeah.
The next part will wrap things up by taking one final look at Ultra Instinct. We'll explore its significance, its challenges, and what it means for Goku's future as a warrior. So we've talked about Baby Saiyan Goku all the way up to Super Saiyan Blue Goku. I mean, we've covered a lot of ground here.
A lot of powerful transformations.
Right, but there's one more we got to unpack. Ultra Instinct.
Oh, yeah. Ultra Instinct.
This is, I mean,
It's a big one.
it's a game changer
Yeah.
in the Dragon Ball universe.
For sure, both in terms of power and what it represents for Goku's journey.
Right.
You know, we see him pushing beyond even the limits of Super Saiyan, tapping into something almost divine.
It's true. And it's not just a simple power boost
Right.
like Kaioken or something.
Exactly. It's not just adding more it's this whole other level of being.
Right.
It's about completely separating consciousness from instinct,
Wow.
allowing the body to react purely on instinct.
You're like, you're not even thinking.
You're not thinking, you're just doing.
Wow.
It's almost like achieving a state of perfect flow, where every movement is effortless and precise.
It's like becoming the martial art.
It really is.
Right.
Yeah, it's like becoming one with the fighting style.
I can't even imagine what that must feel like to have your body moving faster than your mind can even process.
Yeah, it's a strange concept to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to thinking about every action we take.
But Ultra Instinct is about letting go of that conscious control.
And it's fascinating how Goku struggles to achieve that,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like, it's not something that comes easily even to him.
It's not just about physical training. you
Right,
know?
right.
It's about quieting the mind, letting go of conscious thought.
It's almost like a form of meditation in the midst of battle.
Exactly. It's like finding inner peace while dodging punches and energy blasts.
And it's so different from those earlier transformations, right?
Yeah.
Which were often fueled by rage or desperation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about Super Saiyan.
Right.
It was all about anger and grief.
Raw emotion.
Right. But with Ultra Instinct, there's this sense of calm, of complete control.
It's like he's transcended the need for those base emotions.
Right.
He's reached a higher level of awareness.
It's like he's mastered himself.
Yeah. And that's what makes Ultra Instinct so powerful.
Right.
It's not about brute force or raw emotion.
Yeah.
It's about perfect control, perfect harmony. And you got to admit, the visuals are pretty awesome, too.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
silver hair, that serene aura.
It's a visual representation of that internal shift.
Yeah.
You know, that mastery over himself.
It really sets it apart from all his other forms.
And it makes you wonder, where does he go from here?
Right.
Can he even surpass Ultra Instinct?
That's a question for another day and another deep dive.
Definitely.
But I think the bigger takeaway here is that Goku's journey is all about pushing beyond what we think is possible.
Absolutely. It's about that constant striving for improvement.
Right. And that's something we can all relate to, right?
Yeah.
Whether we're training to be the next Super Saiyan or just trying to be the best version of ourselves.
Exactly. We all have that potential within us.
So what do you think about Ultra Instinct?
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
What does it mean for Goku's future?
Is it his ultimate form?
Right. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Dragon Ball, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future Saiyan shenanigans.
We've got plenty more Dragon Ball breakdowns planned.
Oh, yeah?
From Vegeta's redemption arc to the mysteries of the Dragon Balls themselves.
And maybe even some power level debates.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So until next time,
Keep training.
keep believing.
And keep that Saiyan spirit burning bright.
Later, Dragon Ball fans.